What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Marvel Future Fight beginner's guide video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about obelisks and custom gear, not CTPs. I'll be doing CTPs in a separate video. So let's get right into it. First things first, I'm going to talk about what obelisks are. They are basically, just like with cards and ISO sets, they're essential to increasing the stats of a character and also giving them special effects. Now, the best way to I guess describe these is like basically like cards. You have one fixed role set on each obelisk, but the obelisk you can't pick, you can't select which fixed stacks they are. They're always going to be random when you get them to 6 stars. It depends on what the gear starts out as a custom gear. If you get it from, let's say, like this, a 1 or 2 star, so this cold damage all the way up to 6 stars, it's always going to be cold damage. um And the best way I've found to farm these, which is basically anywhere, farm custom gears, sorry, not obelisks. It's kind of different. But custom gears is special missions. As you can see here, you get up to a 3-star one. And then also epic quests. Now, some of the deluxe pack epic quests can get you 5-star obelisks, which is pretty nice. As you can see, you can get a 4-star obelisk or a 5-star one. And then there's also just the other missions you unlock on its own without having the deluxe pack. And sometimes also you can get them through the lab. I don't have any right now, but you can get some. Usually they sell them for gold, but usually the 6-star ones are sold for crystals. So I mean, if you, I guess, pay to win, not pay to win, but spend money on the game, and you really need obelisks, I guess that's one way to spend crystals. I wouldn't recommend that, but that's one way you can go about it. Also, they have special events like they did just recently, but it just ended. The gold chest, there's a chance for you to get a 5-star, 6-star obelisk from that. I actually got a few 6-star ones from it. And also, whenever there's a new update, they usually have event shops, and sometimes they have them in there, and use event tokens on them. And then also, let's see if it's in here. No, but sometimes here, where this comic card legendary 6 times chest, sometimes it's a obelisk chest. Again, crystals. Do what you want with that. I wouldn't recommend it, but do what you want. Now let's talk about now that we got farming done, we're gonna talk about what to do and not to do with them, basically. So going through these top 3 characters here, these 3 characters I have obelisks on them, and each one applies specifically to what they do. So as you see here, Psylocke, she's a character that does mind damage. You see all of her skills do mind damage. So I gave her a mind damage obelisk, and I got pretty lucky rolling double mind damage. I wish it came with the damage proc, but it did not, so it's alright though. I'll take double mind damage. She's still extremely good. And by damage proc, if we go back to Gambit here, as you can see, actually let me get out of that. As you can see on this yellow greenish text, activation rate 10% chance when attacking, increased damage by 120% for 1 attack. That is a damage proc. Anything that has a chance to activate when attacking and gives you damage for an increased damage for 1 attack is a damage proc for a certain amount of time. See, 5 seconds. This is a low proc, 120%. The highest you can get is 200%, a 200% proc. I don't have one of those, unfortunately, but so that's what I have on him. And I have guard break on him because he is extremely squishy and he gets guard broken very easily. He can die in almost 1 hit where I use him in World Boss. That's all I really use him in. But the reason why I have a damage proc on him is because of his 5th skill. Hits extremely hard. It does insane damage because you can see there it stacks up to 60% all defense down and has a chance to penetrate, and it just does insane damage. It gives him buffs, it debuffs the enemy, does insane damage. So that's what I found with him. And then for Magneto's case, I just recently got him, but so I have like a crit rate obelisk. If you are not sure what to put on a character, or you haven't really played with them, or just trying to find out what they need, you can't really go wrong with crit rate, crit damage obelisk. I would recommend a crit rate with a damage proc, depending. Like that's what you really need. I mean, you can't go wrong with the damage proc. So on him though, I have invincibility for 3, not too great, but crit rate and crit damage is always good. Boost up your stats. You see 63% crit rate here, which is 75% is cap, so it's pretty good. It makes it, you don't have to stress more about character gears trying to min max. So yeah, now I'm gonna discuss about what not to do with these obelisks, and I see this everywhere in my alliance, all over my friends list. Um, I won't pick out random people. I actually asked a friend to do this for the video. So let's take a look here. There are certain obelisks you want to avoid and just don't benefit you whatsoever, like poison damage for the main stat. That is just the number of characters that have poison damage. I don't even know who does poison damage. There are no meta characters that deal poison damage right now. And then if you take a look at the bottom stat, lightning resist, that for a main stat is also garbage. So any resist for a main stat is bad. Poison damage is bad. But if you look here, fire damage works great with Ghost Panther because he deals fire damage, so it makes sense. And even I have one on mine as well. As you can see, fire damage, because his skills, he has flame, he has fire damage on his skills, so it works with him really well. And then the same goes for someone like Luna Snow. I don't have one on her. I have a CTP of Rage on her, but if you run a cold damage obelisk, because she does chill damage, as you can see, cold damage obelisk works just as good. And then for Thor, it goes on lightning damage for Thor. And yeah, basically elemental damage, elemental obelisk for elemental characters works pretty well. So again, any resist obelisk that have obelisk has a main stat as resist, or immunity to movement speed obelisk, immunity to snare or stun or fear, any of that as a main orange stat, do not equip that. That is just not very, you're screwing yourself out on better obelisks and better stats and making your character stronger. Now when it comes to actually knowing what to put on your characters, it does come with you just playing the character and figuring out what they need and what works best for them. So like for Gambit here, once you start playing with him, you'll realize he cannot take a hit, and if he gets guard broken, he's dead. So if you that's like, hey, he needs guard break immunity, so I can't die as fast or as easily. That'll help a lot. And then same for Psylocke. She's a very bursty character. She does extreme burst damage, so mind damage with a proc works best. And then the same for Storm. I don't have a good one on Storm, but I have guard break as well, and same for her. She gets guard broken pretty easily with her new uniform. It gives her a little bit of survivability. She's pretty good, but I still run guard break on her because I'm not the best Storm player. But she also has lightning damage, so you could run a lightning damage obelisk on her. So it really just comes down to knowing who you are using, knowing how they play, what they need, and that will determine how you basically what obelisk you should put on each character. And another, ignore defense and ignore dodge. Even that ignore dodge, that's a white stat. Even if it's an orange one, it's still good. Now, these obelisks I tend to move away from because I have quite a bit on my cards, and I don't want to go over the cap. Like you see here, I'm 25% over the cap on ignore defense on Black Panther because of this obelisk. But I had this obelisk way before I had decent cards, so I need to change that sometime soon. But now we're going to talk about obelisks versus CTPs. And you can't really go wrong with CTPs. Yes, CTPs are like the premium custom gears that are just, they work great for almost every character. But there are some characters that you can do just as good with the obelisk. So, for example, I'll go back to my friend David here. knowing him, he doesn't have a lot of CTPs. He's a bit newer player. Like on his Deadpool here, guard break community recovery rate. That's perfect. Can't get, he has passive healing, so increased recovery rate makes him heal even more. And he can't, if he gets guard broken, he might die depending on what you're playing. So guard break community works great with him. Same for Wolverine, guard break, and then invincible once he gets below 50% health, because he is a PvP character basically, and using that immunity or invincibility obelisk really helps him a lot for survivability. And then same for Dr. Doom, also a PvP character. Let's take a look at who else he has here. His crit rate on Iron Man, and then when it comes to damage procs on what character to put it on, it also comes with playing. If you notice that the character can put out high amounts of damage, then yeah, damage proc for sure. Like once you start getting their skill rotation down, what skills to proc on. So for Gambit, because his 5th skill does so much damage, you want to proc on his 5th skill so you can get as much damage as possible. And then I also have I have procs on my main characters up here, but they have CTP, so I don't really want to show you guys that because it won't really benefit you for this video. But again, this ties into all the other things I talked about in the past videos, the ISOs and the cards. Knowing what you're doing, or even just paying attention to what you're doing with your obelisks, with your cards and ISOs, will help you so much, and you'll have a much easier time playing the game. You probably won't be as frustrated. You'll probably be like, why are my characters not doing that much damage? Why are they dying so fast? Well, if you have, maybe you have no obelisk or bad obelisk on them, just take a look and it'll help you out a lot. Oh yeah, rolling CTP, or not CTPs, obelisks. So when it comes to rolling obelisks, let's roll his. You can actually change the stats, not the orange stat. The orange stat will always stay the same, but the white stat and the yellow stats here, you can actually change it if you roll another 6-star obelisk with it. So you click change option here, and you select the 6-star obelisk. I'm gonna use this cold damage one because honestly I don't have anyone to use it on. There's not a lot of cold damage characters, and like not a lot of good ones, at least not that I use. Luna Snow's the only one, and I already have a CTP of on her, so I don't need this. So I'll just go ahead and toss 10,000 gold to re-roll an obelisk. And look at that, we got a better invincibility right there. Kind of poopy with the movement speed down effect, but look, 5 seconds of invincibility instead of 4 seconds, and activates at 50% health instead of 40% health. So that's better than what I had last time. So that's what it comes to with rolling. I wish I had more obelisks in my inventory here to show you guys, but I just got done rolling other CTPs and I forgot that I was making this video. But yeah, that's pretty much it, how it goes for obelisks. Again, please, I see it everywhere. Don't, just because say you get your first 6-star obelisk, you're like, oh man, I gotta put this on my best character. Please look at the stats first, because you'll be stuck with some garbage immunity to fear effect with immunity like this one here, immunity to movement speed effect on like Luna Snow, or your best character like Captain America. Maybe you're just starting out and that's your first obelisk. Please don't do that. Just wait on it. Just hold on to it. Use it to reroll another obelisk you get. It is so easy to get them, and the more you play, the more you'll get. It just comes with time. Just have a little bit of patience. That's all you need. And a little bit of luck too. So yeah, I think that'll do it for this video. Again, I didn't talk about CTPs in this video, but I will in the next video. I'll be going over them, how to basically the same way I did this one, how to get them, which ones work for which characters the best, rolling them, and what not to do with them, especially not what to do with them. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, share, please, and comment down below if there's anything I missed. All right, thank you. Have a good one.